He didn't tell me we were even wholesaling. He just told me go find the deals.
I just wanted to meet this guy, like 1,000 deals, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to meet him. I said,
She was like, yeah, call me this time. I'm gonna pray on it.
tell me about your first deal, that first moment where you got something across the table and say, wow, I can do this, right?
I was just following up for like maybe 3 months with that one lady, and that was my first deal.
What is it exactly that you're doing in your space and how were you able to scale? Hey, everyone, welcome to the Investor Deli. We're in remote. We're in Monterey, California, not Mexico, Monterey, California. We out here. You see, it's a little nippy at night. We're sitting outside. So we're in our exclusive country club mastermind that I call Owners Club. I don't know if you can see it on the T. What's up? What's up? Right? So I'm your host, Manifesting Mando on IG. Welcome again to the Investor Deli Podcast. We make the information the star, and we got our boy here, Justin Pickell.
Thanks for having me on.
You know what we do. We appreciate you for having you on, and let's get right into it. How you enjoying your time here, brother?
I'm loving it so far. Like a lot of phenomenal connections. That's why we joined Owners Club to
Absolutely.
be around great like-minded people for the networking, plus the knowledge and wisdom to put the great things into action.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be in these rooms to really understand it, the value that they bring, because it kind of filters out people that not in that position or that not in that mindset, right? To be able to say, I want to elevate. I want to, improve my skill set, whatever it is, right? So you have to kind of filter people out and be in these rooms to say, and these rooms are at our cost. This is not a freebie, right? So, once you invest in yourself, it's a different feeling, right? When you literally put your money where your mouth is, and then you experience these situations where you grow from. So, Justin, tell the people where you're from exactly, and what you're working on, what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm from Metro Detroit, Michigan.
What up, though?
What up, though? We from the D. But we're working on wholesaling nationwide. I got started in it about 3 years ago when I graduated high school, or a little bit before, actually. So my dad introduced it to me.
Shout out to John.
Shout out to John. He's helped change my life by getting into real estate, having me, at first, just handing me a piece of paper with a list of phone numbers.
No way.
For probate leads and expired listings, and then another piece of paper of a script on what to say. So with that, he just walked away, and I had to figure out how to call.
Dude, so did you have any background? Did you know what he was doing, what type of business he was working on? And then you had maybe like a leg to stand on when he gave you all this stuff.
He didn't tell me we were even wholesaling. He just told me, go find the deals.
That's insane. So he threw you to the wolves.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. And
I knew he was a realtor pretty much. And
that's what you knew?
Yeah. And then he did some fix and flips, a lot of fix and flips.
Okay.
And so like it might end up fix and flip, or maybe we sell it to someone else. I knew it was something like that, but I didn't know like what it was called.
Yeah. You know he's in the business.
Yeah.
Right? That is crazy. So what do you do? What did you do with the list?
Yeah. So I was calling it every Saturday, and like with another one of my friends named Justin, actually. And he was trying to become a realtor, but I didn't want to really be a realtor. He already got his license and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just like, test. I didn't really like tests. I was getting out of school.
Enough tests.
Yeah. So I was
more tests, Dad. What's wrong with you?
And it took months. I just wanted like instant results.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, but it still wasn't instant results, is what I figured out. So I was struggling with that list. I couldn't really get too many people on the phone, and was cold calling every day for like 4 months. But at first, I wasn't doing it full time. I was doing it part-time because I was doing stock market day trading while I was in high school from 16 to 18. And I made some good money doing that, but I started to make the transition. But I was doing part-time that. I thought I could do that a couple hours in the morning, make money, and then do real estate. But then my dad was like, what are you doing, bro? The best hours are 9 to 12. You got to call all day.
Stop playing.
Yeah, so I just did that about like end mid-July, like after 2 months, like I started actually going in full time and doing it.
Dude, I can imagine you on the phone your first time calling. What are you saying to these people? What are you saying? Like, what are you saying to these people?
I'm just
with
saying,
no leg to stand on, you just know I got to make these calls.
Well, it was like script from some guy named Jeff Glover.
Okay.
And it just said, like, you're looking to sell your house. And, like, I don't even remember too much of it, to be real. But
So you were a couple months in, right? So you were in, you was engaging part-time-ish. You was getting your feet wet.
But I kind of gave up on that list pretty quickly.
No way.
After, like, 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I'd say, I gave up on that. And I ended up finding Jerry Norton, Pace Morby, signed up for a Flipster program and started calling like tired landlords.
Okay.
And I actually pulled out like a bunch of different lists, like foreclosures, and I was just trying everything. I was like, what's gonna make me money on these lists?
Oh, so you started engaging. You took another step in your journey as well, right? You said, okay, so then you grew from that. And tell me about your first deal, that first moment where you got something across the table and say, wow, I can do this, right? That proof of concept, you know what I'm saying? Where you know, that builds, it's different when you can build that confidence, right? That you're like, wow, it worked, Dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this was actually probably one of my first leads I actually ever got and like actually considered a lead. Like they actually said yes, they want to sell their house, like maybe. Like everyone was just saying no for months, pretty much.
Yeah.
So now I got like a maybe. So but like people were saying yes, but like this lady in particular, she was like, yeah, call me this time, I'm gonna pray on it. So I just kept on calling her once a week, and she actually kept me on the phone for like an hour and just kept on talking like all the time.
I'm still praying.
She's still praying. But I was just following up for like maybe 3 months with that one lady, and that was my first deal.
That is so hot. We were in...
She was a hoarder.
Oh, I can imagine. Oh my God.
85 years old.
Oh, when you got in that house, it must have been crazy.
She didn't live in it. It was like an absentee, actually.
Okay.
But like, the one she lived in was still a hoarder house too. So she was like, what was even crazier was, like, it took me a couple months to sell. But my dad actually sold it to one of his old time friends. He's an appraiser and stuff. So we JV'd on that 50-50, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, the seller, since she's such a hoarder, she wanted us to somehow move all the stuff from the one house to the house she lives in. Like and everything was stacked to the ceiling in the other house. So like she was pretty much it did not work out well.
That is nuts. So that is crazy. Let me give you some background. We were in Squad Up in Orlando last year, the inaugural Squad Up. Shout out to Pace Morby, the one and only Pace Morby. So during that conference, and one day he was bringing up people in the community. He was edifying them, people who did 50 deals, 100 deals, right? Mm-hmm. Were you there?
Yeah, I was
that's
there.
Right. That's right. You were there. Let me tell you. So, and at the end, whoever's done like 1,000 deals, right? 1,000 deals. And I think in that calendar year it was, right?
No, not in that calendar.
No, it wasn't a lifetime deals.
Yeah.
1,000 deals still, right?
Yeah, so a lot of deals.
Right, so it was the people he brought up on the stage. Obviously, it was more people who do 50 deals, 100 deals, and then like I said, 1,000 deals. And so he was giving, I think, awards or just saluting the people who were making the deals. And then the stage just trickled down to the big dogs, And at the end, I think it was Abraham Gray,
my dad,
your dad.
And someone else.
I don't even remember. Shout out to someone else. I don't remember someone else. I remember the pickle because of the hat and the tees, right? Yeah. So it's a quick identifier, right? Just branding, right? So I remember seeing the pickle guy, right? For real. And I was like, man, I want to meet this guy. Shout out to John. I want to meet this dude, right? And on the last day, I was sitting in the lobby in this hotel. So it's like a river. Everyone had to come this direction to go downstairs to where the conference was at. So I was sitting there for a while, and I was like, damn, I ain't see John. So I went downstairs. It was my last day that I was leaving that morning. So I was sitting there, and I was sitting with a gal hanging out, and I told her, can you hold my seat? I got to go get my luggage. And literally, I pressed the elevator, and John and Justin come out of the elevator. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't.
You don't remember. I was looking for your dad, but literally, and I told him the story. I said, "Dude, I've been looking for you." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Yo, this is how you manifest something, right? Literally,
Yeah.
you don't know when it's going to happen, right? Dude, I pressed the elevator and you and Dad come out, and I stopped. I said, John, dude, I've been waiting. Like I said, I was sitting there I just wanted to meet this guy, like 1,000 deals. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to meet him. I said, I wanted to be, you know what I'm saying? You want to surround yourself around people who are doing bigger things than you. That's kind of the moral of the story, right? And why not reach to the biggest dog, right? The biggest whale in the room. That's kind of how I approach it. So I just wanted to meet that guy, right? For some reason, like I said, it was the branding as well that mattered, because you remember that stuff, right? The pickle, like, what is this pickle and Pickell, right? So yeah, so I built a relationship. Our next retreat, I got a chance to hang out with father and son, and we connected somewhat. And again, it's that relationship building, cultivating that friendship to be able to have a moment like this, right? So can you tell us about your dad and what he's been doing in the game, that he's been so successful to then kind of translate and pass it to the next generation?
Yeah, so my dad, the reason he's been so successful is because he really knew he needed to support his family all the time. I'd say that. But he's a lifelong salesman. He went from different industries. He started from like homes, construction services, and like maybe door knocking a little bit, like selling furnaces and roofs or something. I'm not sure exactly, but it's home construction. Then in like 2003, he got into the mortgage business. So he did that from 2003 to like 2009 to 14 a little bit. But in 2009, he got started as a realtor. Then as a realtor, he started understanding the real estate business more, and then using his loan experience, he combined the two different knowledges.
Sure.
So like how he's achieved the 1,000 deals is really just like he considered it between all the different industries that he sold deals in. Plus, like he got into wholesaling in 2019 and heavy into fix and flips in 2020.
You guys are in Michigan, right? That's home base. Are you is the business locally when your dad started, and or are you nationwide? Because I know that he escalated the business to a certain level. You came in, and I recall your dad saying, Justin's gonna take it to the next level, right? What is it exactly that you're doing in your space, and how were you able to scale?
Yeah, so I think it's really came down to mindset. I was telling you a little bit before, like I think older people just have a harder time learning. But
shout out to the older people, man.
But it's not that you guys actually have a harder time learning. It's just that you guys have so much baggage of things you've already learned, and you guys are very smart at what you guys already know. So when I try to give you guys something new, or someone else gives you something new, it might take just a little bit longer to actually do it.
Gotcha. That is true, right? Because you know, I guess you can be somewhat stuck in your ways, right? You'd be like,
even if I'm young, like it take me longer for certain things too.
And there's new information, right?
Yeah.
You're accessible to new information, right? How did you integrate this new skill set into the business, right?
Yeah,
because I'm sure you catapulted it.
Yeah, so the actual thing that helped, the reason I was saying it was mindset, is he was scared about comps and checking values and understanding different areas in different markets.
Okay.
But me, I was just like, I'm looking for a good deal.
Yeah.
So I just saw like the Pace Morby community, and that there was 100,000 members. So I was messaging people in there a little bit, and like they're all around the country. So I was like, oh, I can just find someone in there. So I was just calling in like Ohio and Michigan. I started off with that, and I was calling a lot of single families, and then it ended up building up like to different states after I closed some more deals. But it started off with just like Michigan, Ohio, and then started learning about direct, like because direct to seller costs a little bit more money. So I was only sticking to those couple markets. Then when I started doing direct to agent, and then I also was in this like mindset group. I was actually like, so some other guy was like, it was his mindset community, but I was teaching real estate. So like they actually taught me a method, and then I taught it to the people. So it was like reaching out to estate sales on Facebook Marketplace, and that was like the first time I started doing nationwide, actually, right there. So that was technically my first sales team. I had about 20 people. They were all just reaching out to them every day, and I was hosting Zooms every day.
You was on that grind.
That was like 5 months into my journey.
Jeez, you took off.
Yeah.
You were focused. So tell us about the mindset part, right? And how did that help you catapult you to that where you were at that level, at that point?
So I'd say it helped catapult me in becoming a better leader and try to direct other people on what to do and how to get better at it on a daily basis. Because it's not easy to get other people to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Most people want to do it their way, or like just take longer to do it, like, and be motivated as you. Or that they just might have another W-2 job versus like I was doing it full time, and I was like, I'm not going back to I'm not going to school or college.
Yeah, you know what you didn't want.
Yeah.
And that wasn't it.
Yeah.
You were all in on this.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. It's important to have that mindset. Your team is not gonna be 100% you, right? So you kind of have to settle in knowing, maybe if I can get 80% of what I try to teach or implement, maybe that'll, again, you can't literally replicate you and what you're doing, right? You're one-on-one, you're your own miracle, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's like a happy medium that you'd be like, that can settle in and be like, all right, I can deal with this.
I'm happy if they're actually trying and doing it.
Okay.
Most people don't do that.
Okay, show me the action, right?
Action, massive imperfect action is what will create results, and then actual consistency, because I can tell fast when people fall out. Like whenever even I currently onboard people, like any salesperson, like I created like a hard onboarding process. Like most people don't even get through the onboarding.
Okay, so you make it hard from jump, like literally, like you don't belong. Prove yourself. Prove yourself that you do belong, right? Basically, right? And how does that look like?
It looks like a lot of different like series of videos of like me talking to them about like either direct to agent, direct to seller, different avatar prospects, different sales processes on like when to follow up, how to manage and organize the CRM and your calendar on those different pipeline of leads, and then like the actual like framework of what to say and why to say it and when to say it. Like, because I don't really believe in scripts. I believe in understanding the knowledge base on different topics and then understanding how to adapt to people's situations. So like me, I never use a script. So like, why am I teaching a script? Like I can tell you the stuff you need to know about it, but like me saying, like when someone walks into the company and says, yeah, I need a script, like I can give you like some bullet points.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah. An overview, a general idea.
Yeah.
And then
I've given scripts before.
Okay.
And they're completely robots.
Yeah, they lose that
they lose that human
touch,
flavor.
Especially when you're talking to someone who's in whatever situation they are. You want to be somewhat empathetic and build that connection, right? They want to engage and do business with you at the end of the day, right? So that component does matter, right? Dustin, let's say my market is Dallas and Atlanta, and I want to work with you guys, and I'm looking for deals. And what type of deals are you doing? Cash? Are you doing creative? Subject to? What is it?
We're doing it all.
So you're doing it all. I say, Justin, I'm looking for properties in Dallas. How do you onboard me? How does that look for people who want to do business with you, let's say?
Yeah, if they want to get onboarded on the team, we're going to have to figure out if you're a good fit for acquisitions, dispositions, potentially just being a JV partner and not working for me, and just being a collaboration partner where we can do long-term business and see where the best fit is. If you might have like your own marketing dollars, you might want to run your own business and grow that if you want to put in the effort, pretty much.
That's crazy. Justin, how's the business going to look in 5 years? And what do you want to be at?
In 5 years, we're working on scaling this in a more better way nationwide. We're already doing nationwide. We've done deals in 30 plus states, but I'm looking to create more leaders around the country for wholesaling, for single family, commercial, selling businesses, and referring out lending for DSCR, hard money loans to different buyers for flips and rental properties all around the country. So we're creating more branch manager locations where people can run our system and scale their business all around the country.
That's dope. AI. We spoke a little bit about that before we got on screen. Why are you implementing AI in your business, and exactly what is it doing? Because I'm sure, you have a business. I'm sure this is something that you want to implement if you're not already doing, right, to be able to then leverage that new technology, right?
For sure. Yeah, well, I'm working on a lot of projects with AI, but some stuff that are actually live working right now is like our email and text message responders. Like we've created different knowledge bases for low equity leads or free and clear properties, multifamily, all for agent personas versus like foreclosures, probates, tired landlords, like for a direct to seller kind of scenario. And soon we're trying to get to the buyers next, where it can handle all these different kind of stuff for text and emails.
That's dope.
Maybe
Again,
soon voice.
Voice is out there.
Yeah, voice
right?
is good, but like I'm doing, like think of how you as a human can text, email, and call someone all from the same number and have like the same memory of everything that's going on. So then no one's doing that fully yet.
Not yet. He's jogging my mind, guys. Right? Where can people connect with you? Want to do business with you, and let us know where your social media handles are so people can follow you as well.
Yeah, check out my social medias on all social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. My website is Justin, Pickell, Pickell. So if you're in a pickle, we're here to help you solve your problems. Appreciate you having us on here, Mando.
My tribe. Yep. Salute to Justin. Salute to his dad. They're great people out of Michigan. Again, please support him and his dad and watch out his journey as he takes over the game, right? Again, thank you to the audience. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Please like, share, and care. And we're out of here. To the next time. Thank you.
Thank you.